to strategies that involve those heroes. So it's very interesting. You mentioned, user, that kind of big things to watch for from Nathaniel in particular for Canisius College. But I also do like the I wouldn't even call it experimentation. I like the breakout of the meta game, if you will, from Ghost and Melee Monster. We will be running something maybe a little bit more conventional, if you will, with the Mercy and the Ana, bringing back the revive, but you don't lose the utility of that sleep dart of the Nano Boost, the Bionade, most powerful cooldown in the game to date. But Siena College, you're going to need to, Canisius in particular, will need to find ways to slow down and break apart the formation for Siena, opting again for this rush style composition. Pretty excited to see how quickly we see all 3 points of King's Row capped.
Oh, man, for King's Row, this is a very clean map. I just want to point that out for like a heavily populated city. But they're not respecting the Widowmaker. We just saw Upstate get clipped in the head. The Reds enabled, though, able to survive and kind of bring this back into a 6v6 until we see Siena actually get punished in their own right. That's impressive, but look at this. Canisius, they're able to sustain themselves for very long, almost find out Ace, but they're able to return to the fight. Now they're speeding in, hoping to find a pick. Wow, see CPT just looking to find that shield down. They have to play incredibly careful, losing out their Zarya. That's gonna hurt, so we already see them backing up, not wanting to lose any more targets as they have. The only problem is you have to be careful. You have the Widowmaker, but that's not really, as good as the Cassidy comparable.
But you also, for Canisius, you have the Shatter, the Valkyrie. You're coming up on the Nano Boost soon, and pay close attention to the way that the shield breaks, or rather the fact that it doesn't there. Nice attempt at the Shatter from Sethri. Ultimately, I don't think it nets the value.
No, but it was more important that the charge boops Nathaniel into the team, and well, that's just unfortunate as we see the Nano go out. The Zarya at high charge wants to try to bring this back, is able to find out life by walking into the backline, but still, Siena are alive, and they are thriving. Upstate looking to build up this grab, wanting to try to make this last second play with the Reinhardt back. They pop the Shatter, and it just seems with the high noon.
Beautiful
that
combo.
Works out. It was a lot of ultimates, but it was well worth it.
A hefty investment from Canisius, and really you do look at that in any other map on any other objective, and you say that was an overcommitment, but you've managed to hold on first point of King's Row in a fight that you for all intents and purposes you should have lost. Now coming into this, Siena College will have the sustenance on the objective with the beat, especially since Ghost has gone down. It's disproportionate here.
Look at this copy coming in. They really just want to go in. They want to be as aggressive as possible. But the Sound Barrier had to be used for the Griddick Plug. Siena, they're being able to kind of bring back this fight, but it's through the majors of the abilities. It seems though, he says they're not really going to be getting too much. It seems the copy was just a little bit too hard as the rest of them back up. They're going to be looking to fight on street phase.
That's still a really good take for Siena. You got 4 minutes in the bank, and you're coming up on both tank ultimates. Now you're gonna have to fight through Nathaniel's Shatter. Maybe not, actually, if Siena just eliminates Nathaniel as quickly as they did. I think we're gonna see Canisius kind of go for a full reset here. Don't really try and take any aggressive angles, make any hyper-aggressive plays. Generate those support ultimates so that coming back into this next fight, you've really got something to fight with. But Siena as well has their own tools to make sure that this part can continue unfettered through Streets phase. Have to see which of these tank ults in particular, the Shatters on both sides, which of these get more value.
I mean, they don't really want to fight as close as we're seeing. Ace does use... Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, but the Shatter! That was nuts! I mean, they walk in with the window, they're looking to try to melt you down, but Nathaniel just says, no, I know what you're gonna do.
Oh no.
Pops down the Shatter, and they even find out Kill Dog with a little bit of a stagger. That's a little bit of an ego play if I've ever seen one.
It was really good stuff from Nathaniel. What a surprise, am I right? And, little tip for Reinhardt players out there. If you find that a Reinhardt is caught in a grab, always expect him to shatter out of that. Fantastic stabilization from Canisius. Will they be able to hold this objective here, though?
though, I mean, the shatter, it just seems that they're able to come back from this fight. It lands, but they're not getting too much out of it. And even with the flank from the Soldier 76, they try to use the high noon just as a way to go into the backline, try to play it out, but it is not working well. It does matter, though, as Kill OG is able to just get the fan the hammer, but you are the last person on your team alive inside your enemy's backline. It does help that you find out the Ana, but the res is still there. You're kind of in a
Captain
weird
Killock's
position.
still there.
Yeah, but they're still hunting for you. Wait, no, they're not.
This is the third flash fan kill I think he's gotten.
That is. Flick is just not paying attention or at least recognizing where the Cassidy is. So now this fight's up to the shatter. Does not get blocked, but not everybody is hit. We see the charge goes into the payload, so they have to play more back. But CJ has finally built up to this Riptire, and they are looking to break down the shield, put as much damage as they can into Canisius with the Nano now built. They have that sustainability. The high noon, once again, looking. It manages to find out 3! And that's clean. The aggression now benefiting as CBT. I mean, one of the better Cassidys that I have seen so far.
I mean, you know, it's part of it is just the really good off angle that was taken there by Captain Killock. The other part of it for me was the inattentiveness of Canisius. They really never looked for him. You had Flicka in the backlines of Siena. You had Captain in the backlines of Canisius, and so, you know, really, it's just, you have to evaluate whose job is it really to look for that Cassidy. Now, whose job is it to break this Riptire?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say, you know, you're gonna have to start praying. I mean, at least the shatter, it lands, but it is being counteract by the, not only the visor, but the high noon, everything. It's just not looking good for Canisius as they are forced to play back. They are not having anybody to really stay alive. The sustainability, though, finding out Ghost is going to help. That's the one pick they needed. This is in the final fight territory. There's Zarya. Last second, it's about to be picked up, but the staggers are there, and it's unfortunate because that Riptire was solely used for the solo. And now with the high noon focused onto your Reinhardt, you can't even peek out without fear of being killed. Falcon Mercy, at least you jump over the ground without surge, but this isn't Space Jam. Rather, it's King's Row, and we see Siena cap with 1 minute and 52 seconds.
It's a little bit tragic there as well, because you had a couple of ultimates coming up for Canisius College. They might have been able to swing a fight. I think that I would have liked to see the Valkyrie come out just a little bit sooner, rather than in that really kind of last stall phase that we saw it emerge as Nathaniel was just respawning. But you know, really, it's a tough situation that that Canisius was playing into. Just so much pressure coming in from Siena College, and it's not entirely disproportionate, right? I feel like both of the Reinhardts, Sethri and Nathaniel, you know, they're both finding opportunities to make some massive plays. It's really, you just gotta be mindful of these off angles that Captain Killock is looking to attain, and as well, I think that Special K and Flicka, you know, they just gotta find really good value out of these sniper picks. Now the double sniper on King's Row, that's not necessarily that shouldn't look like an unfamiliar strategy. Is it usually enough to, you know, really give yourself a fighting edge against the rush-based composition? Some games, maybe. Some games, yes or no. But Siena College isn't opting for a rush-based composition on the defense. They're going to be going hefty damage, tons of sustenance on the objective with Booker now on the Brigida. I anticipate some good resistance from Siena, but I still think Canisius will be able to move this objective all the way to the end. It's not a complicated endeavor here on King's Row.
You make a very great point. Especially when we see Flick looking to make these shots, but the shield is there. Having to play very carefully because, I mean, you're at 49 HP. The rest of your team is moving out. This is where the fight goes in. It is a 5v6, at least in this moment, but Canisius, they seem to not really care. They're still committing into that damage, but they're not really finding too much out of it. The space is by far the best thing that they are obtaining, but look at that. Another Cassidy flash just going into your back line, kills your Reinhardt, and the Junkrat gets free reigns to shoot you. I mean, that's some solid Snake right there.
And you look at, look, Captain Killock is lighting up the kill feed. There was a critical hit finish down to Upstate. You know, at one point I mentioned last round, I'm like, you know, part of this is, it's the inattentiveness of Canisius College. And, you know, at one point it stops being about that and starts being about the ingenuity of the Cassidy player here for Siena College. Looking for opportunities to exploit the off angle. That's a good DPS player right there.
I definitely agree, and I mean, I just find it more impressive of just finding these picks continuously. At least the Riptire goes out looking to take away some shining moment. Res, not really that possible as a Nano Ryan walks into the range, shatters your backline so they can't even get up to help Upstate. Now they're forced to play back and come up with a new plan. These ultimates being negated the moment that they are being used.
It's a decent. It's not too bad there for Canisius College losing the Valkyrie. You sacrifice that to try and get Nathaniel back in the field, and in the process, you end up bringing out a lot of ultimates from Siena College as well. Now they will be coming up on the Graviton Surge soon, but you got the Nano applied to Nathaniel to really make some space.
The High Noon used all the way on the high ground, and I mean, you can't let this happen anymore. I mean, CPT is getting away with so much, and now they just move forward once again, cleaning up this fight. It's less than 2 minutes, and I mean, yes, these have been going by fast, but it is still impressive just how much they are getting away with.
Kill for the books. It's at this point that, you know, we need to go full dive. We got to get a diva in our lineup instead of the Zarya here. But it's a tough situation to be in because you're working on the Graviton Surge. You want to get value out of the Graviton, out of the Grav Dragon combo. Losing Flicka means that now might be the time to do something to really push it go and int. But instead we'll sacrifice the revive so that we can really see about getting some value out of this ult combo.
They're really focused. They just want to try and go on top of this high ground. And yes, they finally take that position away from CPT as Flick is on there. They have 4 ultimates. That's a lot of room to look to damage CPT, though, recognizing what's going on, but they don't recognize the Riptire! CJ just baits them into that small corridor, and now it's the cleanup crew just looking to find everybody else in less than a minute. I mean, this is going to be an ult fiesta.
And still no opportunity for Canisius to use those ultimates. At this point, you got to cut your losses and just rush the objective and see what kinds of value you can get. For me, like I said, I would have liked to see the Diva come out, but what I really want now from Canisius is to see the Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike combo in action. See the Visor applied just to kill Captain Killog and possibly generate a Nano for the mid-fight.
Yep, the grabs get used, but the Dragon is much stronger as it kills too. Then they find the 3rd pick, though. That Shatter. Wait, CPT in the backline, managing to find 3. That Zarya is still dangerously low. The last person alive, and you get stun killed. You get killed with the stun. Not again. Don't emote. They can touch.
His Special K is calling out to the team. Like, I've got the touch. I can touch the objective, but I won't be able to stay on it. The rest is gonna be up to you guys. And Flicka to use the Visor here, make things happen.
Look at that. They do have the Nano Visor, though. That's a big ultimate as they move forward, managing to find out the Ana. But it's not after, you know, the Nano gets used. But still, Siena, they're not finding the picks. They don't have the ultimates to make those big hero plays. And yet, once again, how do you do it? It's not even fair as you find the monkey with it. With the last person being the Reinhardt, not even getting that second of the touch. I can't believe it. Siena, they get the win and put us at match point. But they not only do it, but I gotta say, CPT did it in style.
Yeah, really making a name for themselves, for Cole Cassidy. I'm really liking the Cole Cassidy gameplay here. It's so
ridiculous.
It's so thrifty. It's so ingenious. Again, it's not really going off on the same